Hello dear friends, and welcome to our June 2020 speculation setting B, paper 1. For patronage to our team, please use the contact on screen, and for this paper correction, subscribe, click on the link below, and stay tuned for settings C and D. You can equally visit our blog on www.gcmathpanel.blogspot.com, and don't forget to subscribe and click on the notifications. Equally, after this one will be coming another paper called Black June. Question 1. Simplify the expression shown. What is required here is PEMDAS, or what we call BODMAS. So we start with the power, and we will have 1 minus 3/4 of 4 or 9. Further simplifying, the next step is off. So we have 1 minus 1/3, and that gives us 2/3. Question 2. Which of these is a cardinal number? Cardinals are natural numbers as used in cardinality of a set. The only one here is 11. So the only cardinal number here is 11. Express 6 on 25 to 3 decimal places. Normally you just use your calculator, and when you divide you have 0.24. But this 0.24 is to 2 decimal places. To now express to 3 decimal places, we affix a 0 after the 4, and that gives us 0.0240. Question 4. Which of these numbers is to 3 significant figures and 2 decimal places? The only number here is 5.23. This number is to 3 significant figures and at the same time 2 decimal places. The temperature at the peak of Mount Everest on a Monday was 283 kelvins at 7 a.m. The temperature rose by 0.5 kelvins per hour for the first 2 hours, and by 1 kelvin per hour for the next 2 hours. What will be the temperature at 10 a.m.? Here you need to give your answer in Kelvin. I know you've been working with temperature in degrees Celsius, but here the temperature is in Kelvin. So at 7 a.m. the temperature is 283 kelvins. But the question tells us that it increases by 0.5 kelvins per hour. So at 9 a.m. it is going to be 283 plus 0.5 plus 0.5 during the 2 hours interval. And from 9 it increases by 1 Kelvin per hour. So therefore from 9 to 10, the interval of 1 hour, the increase is 1 Kelvin. So the total temperature at that time will be 285 kelvins. Given the set A is a singleton, which of the following represents set A? Now you have to note that a singleton is a set with just one element. And looking at the alternatives given to us, the first one is an ordered pair A times A, which gives us the first element from set A and from set B. That ordered pair indicates a singleton. Now B is not correct because the cardinality of a singleton is not 0. C is not correct because we have 2 elements in the set, and D is not correct because the cardinality is 2. So the only correct answer here is A. Question 7. Sharing an amount y in the ratio 2:3:5 respectively indicates the largest share is. So we just have to get the fraction for the biggest share. And the fraction of the biggest share here is given by 5 divided by 2 plus 3 plus 5, and that gives us 0.5. 0.5 of the amount, which is y. So the result here is B. Question 8. A loss of 10% indicates the selling price percent is. Percentage selling price is given by 100% plus gain. Here we have the case of a loss, and if we have a loss, it therefore means that the selling price is 100% minus the loss, and that gives us 90%. So we have 90% as a result. 9. What is the compound interest on 100,000 francs for 1 year at 2% per year? For 1 year, compound interest is just equal to principal or investment times rate, and this gives us 100,000 times 2% times 1, which is 2,000. 10. The area of a square is 10 squared centimeters. If we double the length of each side, the new area will be, the area will quadruple since the area factor is 2 by 2. You've increased the length by 2 and the width by 2. I like to use length and width, though it's a square. In this case, the area factor is 2 times 2, which gives us 4. So our new area will be equal to the initial area times 4, giving us 40 squared centimeters, as illustrated in this diagram that is being shown. You can see how the area now multiplies. 11. If 24 base x equals 16 base 10, find base x. We have to make sure that everything here is in base 10. So we are going to do conversions. Good for us, the right hand side is already in base 10. So we just convert the left hand side to base 10 and equate the two sides. So converting the left hand side to base 10, we have 2 times x to the power 1 plus 4 times x to the power 0. And that gives us 2x plus 4, which is equal to the right hand side 16, since the bases are now the same. And when you solve for that simple linear equation, we have x to be equal to 6 as answer. 12. If 1 naira is 4 FCFA, then 1 FCFA equals how many naira? We just have to cross multiply to get the value. 1 naira equals 4 FCFA, x naira will be equal to 1 FCFA, and x here will be equal to 0.25 naira. 13. If log 8 base 2 equals 3, when written in index form, we will have, converting to exponential form, we just have to take the base and raise it to the power 3. So we have 2 to the power 3 giving us 8. And this value actually ties because we know 2 to the power 3 is 8. 14. The next term in the sequence is, looking at this sequence critically, we'll see that the common ratio is -2. So to have the next term, we just have to multiply 16 by -2, and that gives us -32 as answer. 15. The mean of 7, 3, 4, and 3 to the nearest whole number is, you just have to sum all the values and divide by the number of scores to get the mean. This gives us 7 plus 3 plus 4 plus 3 divided by 4 results 4.25. But the nearest whole number, it gives us 4. We round down. How many links are in the network shown in figure 1? A link is a line that joins two nodes, and when we count the number of links here, we have 6. There are 6 links. 17. 5 ENEO electricity poles are equally spaced. If the distance between the first and the 5th pole is 400 meters, what is the distance between two poles? This question is a bit tricky, but you have to note that there are 4 equal spaces between the 5 poles. There are 5 poles, but 4 spaces in between. Each of these poles has a value, let's say x. So 4 of them gives us 4x to be equal to the 400 units, and x gives us 100 meters. So they are spaced at intervals of 100 meters. 18. A discount means, looking at all of these alternatives, a discount means reducing the selling price. That is to attract customers or to motivate them to buy. 19. Intervals can be open, closed, or half intervals. Figure 2 is a closed interval and is represented by, the only way that this interval is represented here is by use of the brackets, not the normal one that you know, the one that is shown on screen that is normally used for intervals. When you see this particular symbol, it means that the interval is closed. It is closed. You can see it's open at A if it was pointing the other direction, but now the A is inside, so it is closed at A, and at B is inside as well, so it's still closed at B. If you reverse the sign at any position, it becomes open at that position. And there are other ways to represent it using the other symbol that is shown in the alternative A. A is actually an open interval. It's opened at A and open at B. That is for the alternative A. 20. On the following truth table shown, the missing values are respectively. If you look at this truth table very well, you have when A is true and B is true, the result is true. When A is true and B is false, the result is true. This actually looks, or it's actually the OR implication, or the OR statement. Let me put it this way, the OR statement, because if one is true and the other one is false, the result is true. And for this particular statement, for it to be false, both have to be false. So they are respectively false and false. 21. If y equals x plus 1 all squared, find the value of x, or express x in terms of y. Here we have to do transposition of formulae. You have to do transposition of formulae, and this is how we proceed. We take the square root of both sides. You will have the square root of y equals x plus 1, and we subtract 1 from both sides. So we'll be left with x to be equal to the square root of y minus 1. 22. If the matrix M equals 1, 5, 1, 2, then M is, so the determinant of M, which is the product of the leading diagonal minus the product of the reverse or the off diagonal, is given by 1 times 2 minus 1 times 5, and that gives us minus 3. 23. The value of the side x shown in the figure 3 is, from classwork you will know that the value here is 4 and you will not have to spend time calculating. However, you can waste your time using Pythagoras formula to calculate. That gives us x to be equal to the square root of the longest side minus the other short side squared. So we have 5 squared minus 3 squared, the square root of all of that. That gives us 4. Now note, the GC equations will not come from space. They will come from the assignments that you did not do in class, the days that you boycotted the math class. They will come from the exercises that you did not want to do or attempt, and they'll come from examples that your friends gave you and you did not want to look at them. It will come from anywhere. Let's be prepared for this exam and make it once and for all. Question 24. If the internal angle is 90 degrees, then the external angle is, external angle is given by 180 degrees minus the internal angle. And here our external angle will be given by 180 degrees minus 90 degrees, and that gives us 90 degrees. 25. The volume of a cylinder is given by, the volume of a cylinder is the base area times the height, and that gives us pi root 2 squared times height. That is the volume of a cylinder. Please don't forget to subscribe and click on the notifications, because we'll be uploading a lot of videos this week. And don't forget to visit our blog in case you need past papers and other material. Equally, I would like to remind you that after watching this paper, it will be good to look at the paper called Black June. It's very powerful material for students. 26. Find x in 5 to the power 3 equals x to the power minus 3. Here we have to make the powers the same and equate the bases. Why? Because the unknown exists as a base, so we make the powers the same. In this case, we have 5 to the power 3 to be equal to x to the power minus 1, or raised to the power 3. This is from the third law of indices, which you already know. Now that the powers are the same, we now see that 5 is equal to x to the power minus 1. And x to the power minus 1 from negative exponents is the same as 1 on x. And solving for x here, we'll have x to be equal to 1/5. 27. In figure 4 shown, the solution of the simultaneous equation is, the solution of simultaneous equation occurs at the point of intersection of two lines. And here the point of intersection is given by the x value is 3 and the y value is equal to 2. So given this answer as an ordered pair, we start with x first and y follows. So we have 3, 2 as the point of intersection. 28. When the point P is reflected on the line y equals x, we obtain P prime with coordinates. So reflecting this point on the line y equals x is the same as 180 degrees rotation. The trick here is just to reverse the signs of the coordinates. This point is 2 minus 3. So just reverse the signs of the coordinates and it will become minus 2, 3. However, you can equally use the rotation matrix, which is also behaving like a reflection, minus 1, 0, 0, minus 1, which I did actually in setting A. 29. The remainder when f of x equals 1 minus 2x minus x squared is divided by x minus 1 is, when we divide, the remainder is given by, you equate the factor or whatever is given to 0, solve for x, and you substitute the value in the function. So the remainder is f of minus b on a. And this gives us f of 1 to be equal to 1 minus 2 into 1 minus 1 squared and equals minus 2. 30. The coefficient of x squared in minus 2x into 1 minus 3x is, the first thing you have to do here is to expand and simplify. When you expand this expression, you obtain minus 2x plus 6x squared, and we see clearly here that the coefficient of x squared is plus 6. 31. The value of tan 45 degrees is, this one you just have to punch on your calculator, there is no stress. However, you need to know this value because you have been using this value most of the time since Form 3, Form 4, and even Form 5, so you're supposed to know this value by heart. So the answer is equal to 1. 32. The modulus of a unit vector is equal to, modulus is the same as magnitude, and the modulus of a unit vector has a magnitude or modulus of 1. For example, the magnitude or modulus of I is 1. That's 3. Given A equals that matrix and B equals that are equal matrices, find X. To look for X, you just have to equate corresponding entries. And here we have 1 is equal to X plus 4 and X equals minus 3. If you equate X to X here, you will not have any solution. So that one is some sort of a trap or a trick or to delay you and waste your time. 34. Figure 6 shows a set of angles. The angles A and B are said to be, these are vertically opposite angles, angles that are facing each other and formed by the intersection of two lines. So actually they're equal as well. 35. Given the lines 1 dots and the line 2 dots, the value of x at the point of intersection is, well, these lines are a pair of simultaneous equations, so we just have to solve x, and addition would actually do well here. It will be direct. Adding the two equations, you have 3x equals 9 and x equals 3. 36. Log 25 plus log 4 equals, using law 1 of logarithm, note that the base here is 10 since it's not indicated. So log 25 plus log 4 equals log 100. And log 100 is the same as log 10 to the power 2 base 10. You can bring the 2 in front. And log 10 base 10 is equal to 1. So 2 times 1 gives us 2. The result is 2. In figure 7, the angle of depression of B from A is, angle of depression of B from A is not angle of elevation, angle of depression. So this angle is measured from the horizontal at A to the line AB, and that's the indication of the angle. That value is 90 minus 30, which gives us 60 degrees. 38. How many lines of symmetry has a square? A line of symmetry is a line that divides a shape into identical mirror images. If the images formed, or if the halves formed are not mirror images, then the line is not a line of symmetry. So we have 4 lines of symmetry. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. So a square has 4 lines of symmetry. The last one is not well drawn, but it's okay. 39. What is the value of x in figure 7 shown? The angle x is half the angle subtended by the chord at the center. So that chord subtends an angle of 30 degrees at the center and subtends an angle of half that value at the circumference, since it's the same chord. Therefore, the value of x must be equal to 30 degrees divided by 2, and that gives us 15 degrees. 40. Find x in this equation. Expand and simplify, bring like terms together. So we have 3 minus 3x equals x plus 2. Bringing like terms together, we'll have 1 equals 4x and x equals 1/4. 41. The equation of the line with gradient -1 passing through the point 0, 2 is. Normally, the equation of a line with gradient m and passing through the point BAB is given by y equals m into x minus a plus b. Putting these values into this formula gives us y to be equal to minus x plus 2. 42. The vectors perpendicular to 3i minus j is. Normally, the vector perpendicular to ai plus j is either bi minus aj or minus bi plus aj, such that their dot product is 0. And the only vector that behaves or has this particular fashion here is the fourth one, which is minus I plus 3j's. However, we can test by calculating the dot product, and that gives us minus 3 plus 3, which is 0. 43. When expanded, x minus 1 into 1 minus x gives. Expansion is just removing the brackets. That gives us x into 1 minus x minus 1 into x 1 minus x, which equals x minus x squared minus 1 plus x. Bringing like terms together, we have minus x squared plus 2x minus 1, and that's A. 44. You are given a chart for food items bought as shown in figure 9. What type of chart is this? This is actually a bar chart. 45. In question 44 above, the modal item is the item of the highest frequency, and the highest frequency is rice. So the answer here is rice. I know people like to eat rice, so we cannot fill this one too. (46) Two independent events m and m such that probability of m equals 0.2 and probability of n equals 0.5. Then the probability of m and n is, since the two events are independent events, their probability is equal to the product of the individual probabilities. So probability of m intersection n is equal to 0.2 times 0.5, which is 0.1. 47. Solving the inequality 2 minus x less than or equal to 11 plus 2x gives us. Be careful when dividing or multiplying an inequality by a negative number. The sign will reverse. But if you multiply or divide by a positive number, the sign remains the same. The teachers have been singing this to you. So let's solve normal like an equation. You have minus x minus 2x will be less than or equal to 11 minus 2, minus 3x will be less than or equal to 9, and x will be greater than or equal to, dividing both sides by minus 3, the sign reverses, giving us a value of minus 3. 48. The shaded area in figure 9 is given by dash centimeter squared. When you look at this figure very well, you will see that this area that's been shaded is 1/4 of the total surface area, and therefore the area will be area of rectangle divided by 4, giving us 12 squared units. 49. The frequency distribution table below shows a cumulative frequency for the ages of students in a certain Form 5 class. How many students are at least 11 years old? At least 11 means 11 or more. So, since the frequencies have been given, the question says cumulative, but the frequencies actually have been given, not the cumulative frequency. So in this case, number of students who are more than or at least 11 years old, you have 30 plus 20, which gives us 50. Question 50. Two balls are drawn in succession from a bag with replacement. The bag has 3 white balls and 2 red balls. What's the probability that the balls have the same color? Now, if the balls will have the same color, it means either the first ball is white and the second is white, or the first is red and the second is red. And note, or in probability means addition. So, since the events are equally independent, the probability of the same color will be equal to white, that's 3 on 5 times 3 on 5 plus red, 2 on 5 times 2 on 5. That gives us 13 on 25 as the answer. Thank you so much. This paper lasted just 25 minutes, and we have a lot more that will be coming from. Don't forget to subscribe and click on the notifications button, and watch out for setting C that will be coming up, as well as a certain paper titled Black June. Bye bye.